We are going to begin in Child's Pose, Balasana. Let's make our way down to the mat. You can keep your knees together, or if you want a deeper stretch, bring the big toes together and draw the knees apart. Hands down to the mat and lengthen the spine, the neck. Push against the mat with your hands. Feel that opening in the shoulders. And just take a moment to arrive on your mat. Let go of any thoughts, any inner chatter in the mind, and just take this time for you. We are going to start now to lengthen the inhales, lengthen the exhales. So allow your spine, torso to move, to allow these breaths to lengthen. And use the breath to focus your mind. Think about pranayama. Prana is the energy, yama the control, and how we can use our breath to calm the mind, to energize us, to relax us. Bring your awareness back to the room now, back to the physical body, and bring your hands up onto fingertips. Starting to bring a bit of movement into the body, and walk your hands across to the left. Push against the earth with your arms, your hands, whatever feels comfortable for you. And draw the head across to the left also, creating that stretch down the right side of the body. You can feel it in your obliques, the different sensation of your hip opening, and walk your way across to center, and let's go across to the other side. Find that point of tension on the right side, and then push your hands down into the mat. Feel that nice stretch down the left side of your body. Remember to take your nice steady breaths back onto our fingertips, and let's return to center. A few breaths here. And we are going to thread the needle in Child's Pose. Bring your left hand down to the mat and then sweep your right arm through and under. Use the upper body weight, if it feels comfortable, to rest against that shoulder, against the mat. Plant that left hand down, come to center. Focus on planting the right hand down and sweep through the left arm. Return to center. Onto our fingertips, draw down the head, lengthen the spine, lengthen the arms. Plant your hands down and walk your upper torso up. Extend the head forward, take a few breaths here. And draw in the knees if they're not already drawn in, and we're going to sweep up into a tabletop position. So whenever you're in tabletop, hands are planted, feet are planted, spread the fingers nice and wide, that middle finger pointing to the top of our mat, knees and feet parallel, and we are going to inhale and drop down into cat. So drop the navel to the floor, drop the shoulders, look forward. Exhale, we're going to arch our back into cat. Allow that breath to leave the body, head hanging in between our arms, space between the arms and head. And I'd like you to continue 3 more in your own time, remembering to connect the breath. Returning to tabletop, check your alignment. We're going to curl the toes under and inhale, levitate off the knees for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then draw the hips right back and start to straighten the legs, coming into our first downward dog of the practice. So we're searching for that inverted V shape. But find what's comfortable for you. You can bring a bit of movement in the hands, the feet, paddle the feet, massage the toes out, draw the arms down. Some nice breaths here, enjoying that inversion. Bend the knees, look forward and make your way into a forward fold. So you can keep a good bend in the knees here. You can stabilize yourself, bringing your hands to the floor. See what feels good for you. If you are a bit more flexible, you can bring those arms round the backs of the leg and draw the head towards the legs. And then hands to fire shins. Inhale, sweep the arms up and over into Tadasana, mountain pose. We are going to move on now to Surya Namaskar, sun salutations. So I'll go through the first one a little bit slower and then we'll speed up the sequence. So from Tadasana, sweep the hands up and over. Option to take a slight back bend. Sweep down, come into a forward fold. Can be what feels good for you again. Just enjoy that sensation of the stretch on the back of the legs. Plant the hands down and we're going to step back into a lunge. Just drop the shoulders, look forward, inhale. Plant the hands down, retain the breath, step back into plank. And float down chaturanga. Uncurl the back toes, hands by our ribs or shoulders. And you come into a sphinx or a baby cobra or a full cobra. So think about dropping the shoulders, keeping the feet together and extending the neck forward. And we're going to lower the chest, curl the back toes under, plant the hands down and come back up into downward dog. So maybe see if you can bring those heels a little closer down to the ground this time. Bend the knees, float or walk into forward fold. Inhale and come up with a flat back or roll up into Tadasana. Inhale, Tadasana. Exhale, forward fold. Step back with the left leg. Lunge. Into plank, retain the breath. Lower, chaturanga. Into cobra. Lower the chest, curl the toes under into downward dog. Bend the knees, look forward, walk or jump, forward fold. Inhale, Tadasana. Exhale, forward fold. Step back with the right foot. Into plank, retain the breath. Chaturanga. Inhale, cobra. Back into downward dog. Look forward, float or walk into forward fold. Inhale, Tadasana. Exhale, forward fold. Step back with the left leg. Inhale. Retain in plank and chaturanga, lower. Inhale, cobra. Into downward dog. Walk or float to the top of the mat, forward fold, and inhale, Tadasana. Come to the top of your mat, feet hip distance apart. We're going to go through another sequence. Inhale, arms up, Tadasana. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Think about making that 45-degree angle down the back, down the legs. Hands down and step back with the right leg. A deeper lunge this time, hands to heart. Both feet face forward and you can come up on the toes of the back foot. Have a bit of movement. Find where feels good for you. And we're going to rotate our torso towards the left leg. And if you can, hook that right arm around the left leg and bring your hands to heart center. If you feel a bit unstable, you can bring your hand down to the ground. And we'll release the twist, hands into plank and lower, uncurl the toes, come into a cobra or sphinx. Enjoy that back bend. Lower the chest, curl the toes under, hands under ribs and push back into downward dog. Bend the knees, walk or float to the front of your mat, forward fold. Inhale, sweep up, strong and tall, Tadasana. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Step back with the left leg. Draw your torso up into our lunge. Both feet face forward. Maybe it's more comfortable for one of your feet to slightly turn in or out. That's fine. Find your calm in this frontward facing lunge. Let's rotate to the right side. So you can lower the weight of your torso onto that right leg. And by doing so, you can have a bit more stability. This is a really great pose to give flexion to the spine and strengthen the legs. Return to center and step back into plank and lower down, uncurl the toes and come up into cobra or sphinx. Curl the back toes under, hands near ribs and push into downward dog. Bend the knees, float or walk to the front of the mat. Inhale, let's sweep right up into Tadasana. Hands to heart center. And we're going to sweep up the arms again. Inhale, exhale, hands to heart center. And again, inhale, open the chest. Exhale, hands to heart center. Again, inhale, hands up and over. Exhale. One more time. Inhale, exhale. Find your way to Tadasana, and we're going to step back with our left leg. Allow that left leg foot to turn out 45 degrees, and then draw your right arm down to rest on right leg. We're going to make our way into Trikonasana. So you can either bring hand down to floor or hand to rest on shin. And then think about sweeping that left arm to the sky. So when we're in Trikonasana, it's as if we're in between two panes of glass. That's the alignment we are looking for. And lower the leading hand to hip, bend into that leading leg, and we're going to come across to the other side. Come into the lunge, left arm to left leg, and then continue to the full pose. So legs are in a triangle, but keep a softness in the knee joints. We don't want to be locking our knees. And open the arms. If it's comfortable for you, take a look up towards that leading hand and look up towards that middle finger. Lower your hand down to hip, come into that lunge and push your way up. Come into center, and we're going to come into pyramid pose. So smaller stance, rotate towards the left, both feet face forward, hands to hips. Inhale, extend the spine, and exhale, hinge forward 45 degrees. And let's hold it here. So you'll feel that stretch down the backs of the leg, especially that right leg. Now you can either stay here, or we are going to lower further down. You can bring your hands to either side of that right foot, and if you can, draw that head close to the right leg. Maybe you can draw your face close to touch that leg, whatever feels comfortable for you. So try and keep the feet planted on the ground and your hands to stabilize yourself. Bring the hands to hips. Inhale, hinge up halfway, and inhale, hinge right up to standing. And we're going to rotate across to the other side. Now the left leg leads. Inhale and exhale, hinge forward 45 degrees, and let's hold it here. Remember your nice calming breaths. can lower on down. You may find that this side you can come closer to the leg. So find that point of tension and try and hold it there, and use the breath to deepen the stretch. It may not feel the most comfortable, but it's really going to feel great after you've done these lovely asanas. Inhale, hinge up halfway, keep that nice neutral back, and inhale right up to standing. Rotate both feet forward and take a little jump in. So bring the feet around hip distance apart. I'm going to rotate so I can show you better the next pose. So feet hip distance apart, Tadasana. Inhale, open the chest. Exhale, forward fold. Maybe you find you can sink a little bit deeper into your forward fold. Bring your hands down to the ground, and we are going to take a bend in our left leg and draw down again. Our hands are there to stabilize us, and if you need to, you can take a good bend in the right leg. And we're going to start now to raise our left leg up and draw our torso down. So really anchor down through the right foot and the hands, and then bring in a bit of movement. So try and draw your head closer towards your legs. And nice and controlled, bring down the left leg. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, draw down into your forward fold. Remember, nice ujjayi calming breaths. Bring your hands down either side of your feet, and let's bring up the right leg. Nice bend. Try and pull that heel to sitting bones. And raise the right leg up. Point those toes up to the sky. Remember to try and keep your knee joints soft. And release the leg down, back to the floor. Hands to shins or thighs. Inhale, halfway lift. And inhale up into Tadasana. Sweep the arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Plant the hands down and step back into plank. And then option to either chaturanga or come into up dog. Up dog, legs and hips are off the floor, and we are in contact on the floor with our toes and our hands. Similar alignment to cobra. And then we are going to shift our weight from up dog, if you can, into downward dog. So try and make it one nice swift movement. And take a few breaths here. And bend the knees, float or walk into forward fold. Hands to thighs, inhale, Tadasana. Again, find your midline, nice and strong. And we're going to step back with the left leg. Let the left leg turn out 45 degrees. Bring the right hand down to thigh and sweep that left hand up. So we're coming into extended side angle. We've got a nice strike of energy from our left leg up to our left arm. So really extend through. Lower the leading hand to hip. Inhale up to center and let's rotate. Come down into the lunge that's comfortable for you. Right hand to right thigh and sweep up. Make that lovely dash of energy through from the right foot to right hand and hold and breathe. Lower that hand down to hip. Push up with the leading leg and let's come to rotate our feet to center. Inhale, draw the shoulders back and we're going to hinge forward 45 degrees and hold it there. And option to come down into wide-legged forward fold. So you can adjust your stance, widen the legs, bring those hands down, take a good bend in the arm. See if you can draw your head down to the mat. Enjoy that sensation of the blood coming to your head. Hands to hips and let's hinge forward 45 degrees. And we are going to go down one more time. So come forward and we're going to plant our left hand down and rotate our torso towards the right. If you can, take a look up towards that leading hand. And let's plant the other hand down in the center and raise our left arm. So we're creating some nice flexion in the spine and some nice stretch down the back of the legs. Lower that hand down to the mat. Hands to the ground and inhale onto our fingertips. Hands to hips, hinge up, nice flat back. Draw open the chest and shoulders, inhale. Hands out to a T and take a little jump in. Going to make our way to the top of the mat. Inhale, sweep the arms up, Tadasana. Exhale, forward fold, plant the hands down, step back into plank. So nice and strong through the arms. Try and dip the hips down. And we're going to hold for a few seconds. So I know this is challenging. You can bring those knees down if you need to, but try and stay up. And we're going to bring our right hand to center and we are going to rotate, opening up to a side plank. So you can either have the feet behind one another or stagger them on top of one another. I prefer this, it gives you a bit more space on the floor to stabilize. And have a look up towards that left hand. Bring the left hand down, back to plank. Trying to take 5 nice breaths here. Can rock back on the toes to massage them. And this is really going to improve our upper body strength. And bring the left hand center and take a side plank on the other side. So a little bit challenging, but it's going to have such a great effect on your body. Try and push yourself. Try and find your calm. You can do this. And well done. Bring that hand down and plank. Let's take 5 more breaths in plank. Nearly there, guys. Keep going. And let's lower nice and controlled down to the mat. Hands under shoulders. And let's draw right back into child's pose. Find where's good for you. And come up and come to sit on your heels. A few breaths here. Extend the spine. Bring your forearms down to the ground ahead of you. And we're going to come into Dolphin. So curl the toes under and like downward dog, we are making our way into an inverted V. Now, because we are down on our forearms, you're really going to feel a more intense stretch down the back of the legs. See if you can draw those heels down to the ground. And see if you can push your head towards your legs and open the shoulders. And we're going to drop down. Drop the knees down. Crawl the hands forward, and we're going to come into extended puppy pose. So push the hips high into the air. Think about lifting that root chakra. And draw the hands down towards the mat, forehead down towards the mat. And push your way up with your arms. And let's come into our seated on heels. A few nice breaths here. And we're going to make our way into Dolphin. So plant down on your forearms. I like to bring mine to a triangle, but you can bring them straight. See what feels good for you. And our head should be slightly off the mat. So our head isn't a point of contact. It's our forearms and feet. And lower down. Let's make our way into extended puppy pose. This is a really nice sequence for back mobility, hip mobility. Again, push down against the mat and you can open your shoulders. A nice curve in the spine. And we're going to make our way into our sitting position. So think about creating that tension in your lower back, engaging the core. Think about your posture, shoulders down. And final time, up into Dolphin. If this feels good for you, you can always come into a child's pose if you've done enough inversion. But yeah, really good one to get the blood running to the head, which is a really good way to shift the body Obviously, day to day, we're always stood up, sat down. And lower the knees down to the ground, and let's come once more into that extended puppy pose. So really enjoy now this nice relaxed posture. You can really use your weight to sink deeper into this stretch. And remember your nice calming breaths. And come into that seated position again. We are going to finish our main asanas by doing some work with shoulder stand. So bring yourself to lie on your mat, draw your feet in towards the sitting bones, plant those hands down. A few breaths here. Lift the hips up and get your hands into position under your hips. And we're going to come into a half shoulder stand initially. So draw up as controlled as you can, and you can keep a good angle in the back, upper arms on the floor, no pressure on the neck, and then draw the legs up, creating another angle. So a little less difficult than a full shoulder stand, and a really nice one to strengthen the upper back. And we're going to drop one leg down, one leg up. So let's create a 45-degree angle. See if we can point the toes and breathe. And let's switch legs. So see how it feels. If it feels good, you can always drop both feet down and over your head. And that'll be a little more of a difficult asana. And let's draw both feet up, back into our half shoulder stand. And take a bend in the legs. Maybe see if you can drop the legs down towards the body. And roll down on your back. Bring the feet down to the ground. And take a few nice breaths. Draw the legs in, hands on shins, make yourself into a little ball and take a little rock here. Inhale, extend tall, hands overhead, have a nice full body stretch. Lie nice and tall. And exhale, we are going to draw in the right leg and take a bend, and then see if you can start to straighten that leg up, opening the hip. But you can keep a good bend in that leg. And release, bend the leg. And release, inhale into our full body stretch. Exhale, let's do the same on the right leg. So take a bend and then slowly start to straighten that leg. A really good stretch to improve the hip flexibility over time. May help you improve how open your hips can go. And release that leg, bend it, and release down, and inhale into our full body stretch. Exhale, hands on shins, make yourself into a little ball. You can draw the head to the knees, and take a little movement, whatever feels good for you. And release. Come into a supine bound angle, feet together, let the knees drop out. We are going to come into a final relaxation of the practice. So make your way onto your mat. More than welcome to put some layers on and let your body fall however is comfortable for you. Maybe you keep a slight bend in the knees. Maybe you place a block under your shoulder blades. Have a little chest opener. If your hands are by your side, try turning your palms up to the sky. And let's draw our awareness now to the present, to how our body feels, how our mind feels after our physical asana practice and breath work, and enjoy the benefits of your practice. And use the sensation of your body against the mat to bring your awareness to your practice. As you breathe, allow your body to soften further into the mat. Think of your body now. Wherever you feel tension, bring the awareness there. Inhale, and on the exhale, allow those body parts to soften further into the mat. And we are going to do some nice inhales and exhales. We're going to try and lengthen the inhale for the count of 5 and the exhale for the count of 5. So I will count you in for the first 2, and then you're more than welcome to continue on your own or just continue on your own breath pace. So we're going to inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. So as you inhale, I want you to visualize bright light energy coming into your body, soaring through it down to every limb, every extremity. And on the exhale, allow yourself to let go of any tension, any thoughts which do you no positive effect. Just let them go. And as you inhale, soften and sink further into the mat. As you exhale, let it go. And I'd like you to bring your awareness now back to the room. Maybe start to wriggle the toes, bring some movement into the hands, run the thumbs along your fingernails. And take an inhale and come into that nice full body stretch, arms overhead. Extend your feet in the other direction. And exhale, draw both your legs in, make yourself into a little ball. And you can take a little rock here, maybe side to side, back and forth. yourself to roll onto your left hand side and lovingly walk your hands up. Come into the seated position which feels good for you. Could be a lotus or half lotus, Sudasana, or Sukhasana, the cross-legged position, whatever feels good for you. And we're going to end the practice with a final salute of Namaste, which means I bow to you. So let's bring our hands into Atmanjali Mudra, the mudra of the self. Fingertips together, bottom of the palms together, bit of space between the hands. Bring your hands to heart center and we'll say Namaste. And I'd like to thank you so much for being part of this practice with me. I hope you go on now with a positive mindset, and I will send you good vibes. And take care. See you in the next video.